part of the American expansion into imperialism was the expansion into the Pacific Ocean. The goal, of course, was new materials and new markets, and the biggest prize out there in terms of markets was the Asian market, specifically China, because there's a lot of potential customers out there in China. So the American industries were always trying to get into the Asian territories. They're a little late to the game. We'll talk about that in a minute. But what they wanted was ports that they could use as way stations on the way to the Asian territories, because it's a bit of a travel across the Pacific Ocean. So they were looking to Samoa and Hawaii, and they wanted to take out and carve places for American ports there. And again, this is imperialistic. They're going and looking at non-white small islands in order to establish domination there. The place that they look to is part of the United States today, and that's Hawaii. Hawaii, I want it to be clear, was an established monarchy as early as 1795, which means it's very nearly as old as the constitutional United States. And what the United States did was go into Hawaii, and Hawaii has sugar there, and they started trading with Hawaii. And there's this growing class of powerful U.S. planters on the island. So there is a white population there, as well as the Hawaiian population, the native population. This was disturbing to Queen Liliuokalani, and in 1891, she tried to restrict the power of those U.S. planters, which really made them upset. And that white population, thinking that it should be in charge, received help from the United States Marines in 1893 to literally overthrow the government of Hawaii. They didn't just step in and say, this was just barren territory. No, they took a legitimate government, overthrew the legitimate government, and then established white supremacy there. They literally just took it over. President Cleveland in 1894 tried to restore the monarchy, but met with objections from Congress because, of course, Congress wanted that way station. The American population wanted that way station to the Asian territories. They also wanted that sweet, sweet sugar that would come from the islands. And then in 1898, William McKinley, looking for any excuse that he could find, said that it was our manifest destiny. Manifest destiny, right? We talked about how the frontier closed. We just needed a new place to expand into. McKinley says it's our manifest destiny to annex the islands, to take them over on our waypoint to the Asian territories, especially China. We're going to see McKinley's going to use the same logic in both Cuba, Puerto Rico, and especially the Philippines, because he's about to start the Spanish-American War.